8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. There, let's get adjusted. Okay, so what I want to talk to you guys about today, and of course I will always answer your questions, is what do you do when you lose? If you've gone to battle, with people and they have won, and they're not even the good guys. Because as you guys know, life is not like Hollywood. I know I'm gonna have to repeat some of this when people start joining me, but somebody's here. I see one person. What do you do when you lose? Hi, is it Corgi? Am I saying that right? Good morning. Good morning, Winnie. Hi, Kiara. Who else do we have joining us? We got 6 people now. Vios is here. Race. Hi, Karen. Good morning. What else? So the topic today is what do you do when you lose? And of course, you guys can ask me any questions on that. Amber's here. All right. So I'm just going to get into it, and more people will join along the way. So what do you guys do when you lose? What happens if you went to battle and you did not win that battle, and you're the good guy? Hey, Angela, you're here early. What do you do when you fight a battle and you lose and you're the good guy? The bad guy wins. Because life is not Hollywood, right? Life is not Hollywood. We don't always have the good endings. You know, that's one thing I love about Hollywood and don't necessarily love about Hollywood. Hey, Addison. Hey, Lily. In Hollywood, when we make our movies, we always put the great endings. We want our characters. We want them to win. We've been with them on this journey. We're rooting for them. Hi, Tanya. Hi, Memes. So the good guys always win at the end. Now, when you watch movies, foreign movies that are not made in Hollywood or the US, the good guy doesn't always get everything they want. But hey, Orly, but that's kind of what we do. Hey, Timmy, what you doing?
I got revenge on Tim and I put Half-Life 1 on my wish list instead of Half-Life Blue Shift.
I have no idea what you just said. Can you speak slower and enunciate?
I got Half-Life 1 on my wish list and decided to be trying Half-Life Blue Shift.
You've Half-Life 1 on your wish list. That's a video game thing. Go comb your hair. Oh no, you got another knot in your hair. I told you to stop twisting your hair.
I love knots.
Well, what am I going to do with this? I'm going to have to cut it out.
I want to keep it forever.
You're getting you a haircut. Okay, yes, it's me, Wen. That is my 13-year-old. I also have a 2-year-old who will be 3 in a couple of weeks. So it's okay to be new here. I'm happy you joined us. Okay, this is my daily Sunday morning routine. Good morning, Timmy and Catherine. Timmy.
Good morning.
Good morning, he says. So Miguel, we are going to get to the questions. I have this little ritual I do where I talk about a topic first for maybe the first 5 or 10 minutes, unless you guys have questions on the topic, and then I get to all your questions. So you, Frank, and everyone else who has other questions than the topic right now, hey KNA, we'll get to those in a minute. So the topic today is what do you do when you lose and you've lost to the bad guy? So something for you to ponder. I'm going to talk about what happens when you lose, and I want to read 3 stanzas from this book, Poems with Power to Strengthen the Soul. This one is, I don't even know who the author is, but it's called Only One Way. However, the battle is ended, though proudly the victor comes. With fluttering flags and prancing nags, and an echoing roll of drums. Okay, so here comes the winner. He's waving flags. He's got everything going for him. He won. He's got a posse. They're like pounding on drums for him because he won the battle. But we're the ones that were defeated, right? Okay, no, you don't have to read the whole book. I'm just reading a passage from it. Hey, Eric. So here comes the winner. Still, So here comes this guy, he's waving flags, he won this battle against you. He's got people pounding on drums. Exactly, Frank, I don't like bad guys either. Still, truth proclaims this motto in letters of living light. No question is ever settled until it's settled right. Though the heel of the strong oppressor. Have you guys ever been oppressed? Have you ever been bullied? Have you ever had some mean person pound you into dust, make you feel like you're nothing, make you feel like you're not good enough? Have they bullied you, picked on you at school or in the workplace, and you felt like, and they come with their posse and they're bragging and they're like, we won. They're pounding their drums. They're playing their posse music. Though the heel of the strong oppressor may grind the weak in dust, and the voices of fame with one acclaim may call him great and just. Have you seen that? Hi, Race. Well, we'll talk to you in a minute. So, here's the bad guy. The bad guy won. He's got his posse. He's waving his flags. You've been defeated. The crowd loves him. They're crying out all his fame and one acclaim. And they call him great and just. Hi, sweetheart. Good morning. Did you just wake up?
I slept that.
You just woke up? Say hello.
Hello.
Say, how are you?
How are you?
Someone says they're getting bored of this book. Well,
What?
you can be bored. Join us in 10 minutes when I'm done talking about it. Okay. You got your dinosaurs? That's nice. So it's not about the book. It's about the lesson that we are learning from the book. So it's not about this old-fashioned poem from over 100 years ago. It's what I want to teach you. Are you competing with me? Because this is my live stream, not yours. It's what I want to teach you through it. So you got the bad guy that wins, and people, sometimes you guys see this in politics. The bad guy wins sometimes, right? And they're calling him great and just, and you're just thinking, how could these people be rooting for him? How could they be voting for him? Do they not see there's this disaster? So this happens in life. They call him great and just. But here comes the caveat. But let those who applaud take warning and keep this motto in sight. No question is ever settled until it's settled right. Let those who have failed, that's us, right? We failed. We've fallen down. We're not at the top of the heap, right? We're not the big winner in life, not yet. We're not the big winner with our posse waving victory flags and having people drumming after us about how we're so great, right? We're the ones who have failed. You and me, we're getting up and we're trying again. But let those who have failed take courage, though the enemy seemed to have won. Though his ranks are strong, if in the wrong, the battle is not yet done. You guys, the battle is not over. The battle is not over, okay? The battle is not over if the person that won is in the wrong. If the person that is hurting people, oppressing people, hurting the weak, stealing, taking from people, killing people, whatever it is, if the person that is in the wrong, the battle is not yet done. For sure as the morning follows the darkest hour of night, no question is ever settled until it's settled right. Okay, that's the end of it. It's only 3 stanzas. So, but it leaves this open loop. It leaves this open loop that whatever has gone on in our life, we may lose a court case. We may go to court against someone who's done us a terrible wrong. Someone who has done us a terrible wrong, and they don't and we lose. And they win, and they're wrong, and they haven't done right. But you know what? The battle is never over. The question is never over until it's settled right. Why? Because God is a good judge. God is well, he has the final say, and he's the one that's going to be settling the questions. So it may not happen as fast as you want it to happen. And guys in my feed, my stream, please be kind to each other. Please only say positive things. I don't know if you've ever heard this saying growing up, but if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Okay, sweetheart. You got a hippopotamus? Actually, this is a dinosaur.
No.
I think it's a Sagittarius. That's not right. That's like it's not a Sagittarius. What's the name of the dinosaur that starts with an S? Stegosaurus. It's not a Sagittarius, it's a Stegosaurus. Well, you never know. It could be the same. Okay, so no question is ever settled until it's settled right. I'm going to get to your questions in a minute. I just want to follow up with what just the tail end of justice and mercy will be served. They will be served one day and at the right time for the best possible outcome. God does not like it when the evil people of the world oppress the good people of the world. Yeah. I think is that a brontosaurus? Brontosaurus. So this is I just want to read, I know, I'm reading today. I'm sorry, get over it. This is the New King James Version of the Bible. Psalm 84:14. 89:14. Righteousness and justice are the foundation of your throne. Love and faithfulness go before you. So, if righteousness and justice are the foundation of God's throne, picture God, he's sitting on a throne. It's not made out of wood. It's not made out of pearl. Well, maybe it is. But righteousness and justice are the foundation. So, no question is ever settled until it's settled right. Hey, Verity. Yes, Winnie, this is the Bible. Book of Psalms 89. Righteousness and justice are the foundation of your throne. So whatever you've been through, whoever's hurt you, whoever has bullied you, whoever has stolen from you, whoever has taken your innocence, whoever has pushed your face in the mud, whether literally or figuratively, righteousness and justice are God's throne. Love and faithfulness go before him. So it's going to be settled. This question of who did what to whom, who's responsible, it's going to be settled, and it's going to be settled right, and it's going to be something that man may not give you perfect justice, but God will. Okay, I'm ready for your questions. If you have a question about the topic, great. Anything, I'm free to any questions. Hi, Aswad, how are you? Okay. Can you please, hi, Lonely Dragon, love from, what flag is that? Huge fan, Norian? What flag was that? Okay, who is an actor you feel comfortable with? Meaning what? Like, from the Dhar Mann set? I feel comfortable with all of those actors. I have been on set, though, with some actors that I have not felt comfortable with. I have a book I'm writing about Hollywood. You guys know I was acting for like 18 years professionally before I joined Dhar Mann. So I have a lot of stories about stuff that happened in Hollywood. And let me tell you, the Dhar Mann sets are nothing like the sets in regular Hollywood.
I could be Jimmy without Fritos. Oh well.
Okay. All right. Frank said I was bullied because of my name, but I don't care. Good for you. Singapore. Norian. Is it Norrain? Norian? Am I saying it right, Norian? Have you ever forgot a script while acting? Yes. Yes. What is it I'm drinking? When he's asking me what I'm drinking. It's kind of gross. It's it's like some green powder mixed with apple cider vinegar and uh, what's it called? Black walnut drops and myrrh drops and wormwood. I don't even know. Some concoction. It is not delicious, but it's supposed to be healthy. I'm trying. I'm trying to be healthy. Okay, can you please say the favorite Dhar Mann video you're in? I just made a video about that. You guys have to check out the video I made on Friday. I finally got to make a video about my favorite Dhar Mann video I've been in. So if you haven't watched that yet, after you get off today, go watch the video I put out on Friday. Hi, Noah. I love your acting. It's so realistic. Thank you, Lonely Dragon. I'm from Orand. I don't know where that is. Is that, I'm just going to guess, is that somewhere near Norway? I don't know. It's convenient that you're in the Dhar Mann videos. All 8 were my favorites, even in order. Wow, that's pretty amazing. Marwa. Orlando. Well, you spelled it wrong and then you put like a weird note over it. So I don't know. Okay, I get it now. I may not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but I am still useful. Allison is from India. Thank you so much. Okay, now there were some questions people wrote in the first 10 minutes. You're going to have to retype them now since I was busy reading from this so-called boring book. See, you guys will get to a point in life where when people razz you or they don't agree with you, you'll just laugh. It won't be like, you won't be insulted anymore. I want you guys to all get your emotional intelligence to a level where you get to the point where people can say stuff to you and you're just like, whatever, bro, that's on you. Okay, so questions. What did you type in earlier? What was your first Dhar Mann video you were in? Okay, thank you, Angela. The first Dhar Mann video I was in, oh, you know, they changed the title of it. Okay, so it had a title 2.5 years ago that was not PC. So I went and I looked at it the other day and I noticed they had changed the title. So I think the previous title was something like "A Woman is Rude to a Colored Man" or something like that. And then somebody must have pointed out that you don't use the word colored anymore. Like, people haven't really used that since the 70s or something. I don't know what it's called now. I just looked at it the other day and I was like, oh, they changed the title. The thumbnail is different. But it was with Carl Judy. You guys remember Carl? So that was the first Dhar Mann video I did. Mare played my daughter. So, yeah, and I think Vin was in it. I've told you guys about this before. So that was my first video. Katherine, do you know what Umbridge is? I've heard the word before, but no, I can't say I do. I would pull it up on the dictionary app on my phone, but I'm recording this with my phone, so you'll just have to tell me. There was a time in my life, though, where I used to get embarrassed. Frank says, I'm black. Well, good for you. There was a time in my life where I used to be embarrassed when I didn't know a word. People would use the word, and then I would kind of pretend like I knew it because I didn't want to seem stupid, and now I don't care. I just was like, oh, let me look that up. I don't know that one. Umbrage is to take offense. Okay. It's me when. Yes, I try to go live every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Did you guys see the artwork that It's Me When made for me? I shared it on Instagram yesterday. I think, right? Did I? She did some computer artwork of me. Okay, Frank, just press the arrow, but okay, I guess that message is not for me. Allison, I've always loved acting and I really love to pursue it. Your acting has inspired me a lot. Oh, I'm so happy. Who is your favorite Dhar Mann actor? Miguel. I can't pick favorites. I don't think I have a favorite. I really don't have a favorite. No, no, I guess I can't really say I do. Everyone is great. Please show your youngest son. He is so cute. Well, he's in the other room playing with his dinosaurs. So, I will not be going to get him. But if he comes back in here again, I'll lift him back up. Okay, questions for me. As I drink my disgusting health drink. I know you guys have questions because you put a bunch in. May I ask some photos of your child? I'm not sure I understand that question. Take some photos of my child? I don't know what. Is there any way I can pursue my dream of acting? I need advice. Well, Allison, of course you can pursue your dream of acting. Probably you need to start with figuring out where the acting opportunities are in your area, where the classes are. Wherever you're from, Google acting opportunities in fill in the blank, wherever you live, and see where the closest thing is that you can do. And what else? And then you can always practice with your friends. Get a couple friends together, read scripts together, film yourself on your camera, reading certain scenes, play them back, watch yourself acting, memorize it, get a friend, work with them, and film yourself and, just practice. There's probably some great videos on YouTube that will give you acting advice. Yeah, I would just say just Google it, research it, go on YouTube, find videos, practice with your friends, read a lot of scripts, read a lot of plays, film yourself, see if you can join a class. Okay, Verity. Verity was saying that she gets bullied because of her disability. Yeah, people get bullied for all kinds of things. Hey, Tanisha. Caesar said, I just woke up from the stream. What is Eli doing? Eli, that's dangerous. That's dangerous. You should not be climbing on the counter in the kitchen. All right, I gotta go rescue. You can't see him, but he climbed up on the counter. Hold on. Eli, you should be up here. I don't want you to fall. What do you need? Do you need a snack? No. What do you want? Do you want something from here? Want these? No? You want these? No. Okay, well, you can't be standing on the counter. So would you like me to get you a breakfast bar? No. You want some breakfast patties in the oven? No. You want this? Here, let's have this. Here you go. You want to come say hi? You want to come say hi? All right. This little bugger was crawling up on the counter. I don't even know how he gets up there. I think he has this little step stool, and he puts it up on next to the counter, and somehow goes up on the counter. All right. Good morning, Katherine. So Cindy, happy Sunday, everyone. Yeah, we don't crawl up in the counter. That's dangerous, because what happens if you fall? My twin cousins are nearly 7, wearing size 8 and 9. What size is Elijah?
Sit down now.
You want to sit down? Okay. He's size 3T. That's what they call it, 3 toddler. He will be 3 next month. Okay, so I'm sorry if I missed a bunch of your guys' questions while I was rescuing Elijah, but type them in again. Whatever comments that I missed and I didn't respond to, type them in again. Frank says, I'm back. Oh, he's so cute. Have you been vaccinated yet? I can't wait to get my shot, says Gabrielle. No, I haven't. What else? What happened when your oldest son used your credit card to buy games in the last live stream? Okay, that was not good. Well, the day before, I had rewarded him by letting him get a $5 game for being good for 2 weeks and pretty much doing his chores. And so apparently I did not remember to remove, I guess there's a button you can push that says save credit card information or don't save. and I must have left before I saw that. So he hit save, and then later that night, when I was in my editing session for this other film I'm working on, I saw a charge for $5 come up, and I'm like, wait a minute, we already spent the $5. Then I saw another charge for $5 come up, and that was the night before. That was Saturday night. I didn't say anything to him. Because I was like, okay, $10. I'm not going to make a stink while I have friends over. But then the next morning when I was on the live with you guys and he came in here and said, I'm going to use Mommy's credit card and I'm going to buy some games. Remember that guilty? Remember that guilty boy? Remember that guilty boy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're asking about that. So then when I got off the live stream with you guys.
I only bought one game, but the devil said buy more games.
The devil said buy more games. That's what the devil does. Yeah, he tries to get you to do what you shouldn't be doing. So I got off the live stream with you guys. Oh, bye, Gabrielle. And he had bought a $10 game. I was like, oh, that's double what I normally let him spend on a game. Then he bought a $20 game. Then he bought a $45 game. So he spent almost $100 without my permission on my credit card. So needless to say, he's grounded from electronics for a month. And it's been really annoying around here because every 5 minutes, I want the computer back, 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 I want the computer back. Mom, when can I get the computer back? When can I get ungrounded? What can I do to get ungrounded? How can I get ungrounded? That's like every 5 minutes around here. So it's been a long week of him not having the computer. But the good news is the company did refund me the 45, the 20, and the 10. So I got that back. But the two $5 ones he got the night before, they just gave him credit in his video game account. So it didn't help me any, but could be worse. Could be worse. Okay, so there was a bunch of stuff that came up that I missed. Hey, Timmy, you should learn chess. Someone is suggesting that you learn chess.
Okay, but I gotta check if I got my refund.
Okay. Have you heard of the poet Maya Angelou? Of course I have. She was an American poet, memorialist, and civil rights activist. Yes, I have. I have one of her books. And actually, for my birthday a couple of years ago, somebody gave me a T-shirt with Maya Angelou on it. I just was cleaning out my closet and found it again the other day. I had been looking for it and I hadn't seen it. So, yes, Derek, good advice. Keep your credit cards out of reach of your children. Even if you think they're honest. Okay, you're an inspiration, Kat. Thank you, Nia. And Angel's telling us about getting his shots. Does your son play Roblox? Yes, Miguel. Well, he used to be obsessed with it. For like 4 years, he was obsessed with it. But now he's moved, unfortunately, he's moved on to Steam, and those games cost money. Verity, yes, I do have FaceTime. Okay. So what else is on your mind? You guys want to tell me what's going on with you? There are cases in Malaysia where my family breached the 500K mark, and the cases are rising. Are you talking about with COVID? Hi, is it Anum? Please say hi, it'll make my day. My name is Selena, and I would like to have some advice on friendship. I got a best friend, but I feel like my best friend may be getting close to someone else. What should I do? You know, that happens a lot in life. People, they grow apart, they grow together, they bond, they meld, they meet new people. So many times, it's happened to me so many times in high school, and in grade school. So, I would have a conversation with your friend. You need to talk to her. If she starts ignoring you or not including you, that's the thing. A lot of times, you know, when we're adults, we realize people could have more than one friend. But when we're kids or teenagers, we sometimes feel like they're picking somebody else over us, and that can be difficult. I remember back in grade school, my best friend, Carrie, she was my best friend, and we used to go play on the playground all the time. But then this new girl named Carrie moved to town, and suddenly they clicked, And suddenly I wasn't the best friend anymore. They were best friends. And I remember at lunch break coming out to the playground, coming over to the monkey bars where they were playing, and they were like having a good time, and I was like asking if I could join them. Can I play with you guys? Because it seemed like somehow they didn't ask me and I wasn't included anymore. And I remember in the most annoying sing-songy voice, no, you can't play with us because your name isn't Carrie. So you can see that kind of wounded me, since I still remember it like 30 years later. But yeah, it happens. So you have to brace yourself for it. I would say brace yourself knowing that the friends that you have now aren't always going to be your friends tomorrow. People, they grow, they change, they start liking different things that they don't like anymore. They do things that maybe they don't resonate with you anymore. I mean, it could be as simple as the video game scenario. My son may have all these friends who play Roblox, but if they switch to Fortnite or something else, they end up losing touch because they're not in the same circle playing the same game. It's a silly analogy, but it's like if you play soccer all the time and then suddenly your friend starts playing football, you may not have as much in common. It's different when you're adults, because when you're adults, you realize you're all different. You all have different things you like. You have different things you don't like. So, so I would talk, if she starts excluding you, keeping you away, then I would have a conversation with her and say, hey, I see you're hanging out with this new girl. I mean, I don't mind you having other friends, but it kind of feels like you're ignoring me, and I'm wondering why you're not inviting me over anymore. I hope we can still be friends even though you have another friend, and just try to open up the conversation. And sometimes it helps. So here's the thing. Here's where we get in trouble. You can't just go up to somebody pushing your agenda and accusing them, and because we could misread things. We may think we know what's going on, and we might not really know. So you could even start the conversation with, hey, just forgive me if I'm like misreading this or if I'm wrong on this, but I noticed you've been spending a lot more time with this person. That's cool. I'm glad you guys are clicking and made a good friend, but do you still want to hang out? Do you still care about our friendship? Because and then we say, of course I do. Yes. Are you crazy? We're going to be friends forever. But if you went into the conversation saying, you're hanging out with this person and you're making me feel bad, and what happened to our history?
Daddy was sitting in the
Oh, what? He's telling me to keep my voice down because Daddy's sleeping. You want mommy to be shush. But yeah, find out for sure. And you're never gonna know the intent of somebody's heart unless you ask them. So you gotta ask them, but you cannot, no matter how convinced you are, you cannot go into a situation with accusations, accusing, and assumptions on your mind, because you could be completely wrong no matter what it looks like, because you don't always see things the way they are. You see things the way you are through your lens of experience. So what does that mean? If you've been done wrong, maybe you're a woman who's had every single boyfriend you've ever been with cheat on you. Now you're with this guy and something is happening, and there may be some suspicious behavior. He may have a girl's phone number in his pocket that you find when you're doing the laundry. And then you freak out and you're like, you're cheating on me. You are the worst person. How could you? You knew what I've been through. You knew all these other guys. You said you'd never do it. And you go off on him. And that's not even the situation. Something at work, maybe his boss, this, and they said, this is the new person who's running control, but she works the night shift, so you're gonna have to give her a call when you get home because she won't be at work yet when you're here. Whatever the situation is, but you've automatically assumed, because of your hurt, because of your pain from your past, that he is just like all these other people that have hurt you, and that's where you get into trouble. That guy could be like forget you. I don't want to have anything to do with you. You're a crazy woman. You don't even believe, I know. I'm not going to have a relationship with someone who I can't trust and who doesn't trust me. So you see, your past you brought into the future because you didn't make peace with the past. Now you just ruined another relationship because you assumed he cheated when he didn't because you found a phone number in his pocket. So that's just one scenario of how we can take this pain from our past, bring it into our future because we don't see things the way they are. We see things through the lens of the pain that we've been through, what's been done to us in the past, and we carry that in. And that's where you guys see this self-perpetuating circle of how come my relationships never go right? If your relationships never go right, the one common denominator in that situation is you. So when will you start taking responsibility and stop blaming everyone else and saying, every guy out there is a cheater or every girl out there is a gold digger? And let's realize that you are the common denominator, and what are you doing in that situation to perpetuate this cycle, to continue it? Okay, Miguel, no, I do not have TikTok. Well, I might. Well, somebody took my name and made a page, I don't know. So then I told my assistant to make me a page to try to secure my name, but my name may already be taken. I don't know. I have never been on the app. Okay, Michaelia. Hi, Catherine. Hello. Abrish Khan. Welcome to my live stream. Okay, so there was a bunch of questions I think that happened when I was answering that. Can you talk about Julius Lambrecht from the video where you were the soccer mom? Was he the one that played my son? He was a cool kid. He had a good head on his shoulders. Really smart. I think he was taking advanced classes. We can't judge their past. We can't judge from the past. We don't live there anymore. Yeah, but a lot of people still think they do, and that's the problem. What car do you use? Well, recently, so I had a Honda Pilot for like the last 9 or 10 years. It's an SUV, burgundy, but I gave it to my assistant because she didn't have a car. Her car was breaking down a lot. It was always in the shop. So I wanted her to have a reliable car so she could get here to help me out a couple days a week. And now I have also burgundy, also an SUV. It's a Land Rover? Yeah, it's a Land Rover. It's a burgundy Land Rover. I've only had it for like a month and a half. I should know what it is, right? Maybe I've had it for 2 months. I should know. I drive a burgundy Land Rover. And love your streams. Always makes me feel better. Keep shining. Yes. What's your experience working for Dhar Mann? Hey, Jessica. Well, so far it's been nothing but good experiences. Michaela. I must have really said it wrong. Michaela. That's how you say it, guys. Take note. Michaela. Did you have a job before Dhar Mann? If so, which one? Like a regular job or acting jobs? Because I've acted in probably more than 150 projects before I came to Dhar Mann. And I know, so I've had probably a lot more experience than some of the people on Dhar Mann. I know some people are leaving mean comments about some of the other actors, but sometimes it's their first opportunity or they've only done a couple things, so they may not have the experience level I have, but they're good nonetheless. It works out. Ma'am, your acting is very good. Always up to the mark. Thank you. Is it Binod or Binod? Binod? Thank you. I appreciate it. Hi, Catherine. Idiot, crazy, Booscots. Some of your guys' names, I don't know. Okay. Lily says 8. I don't know what you're referring to. 8. So, I love the Dhar Mann Gold Digger ones. When will you play Ayden's mom again? I think I may have this week. I had 2 shoots this week. What were they? One is going to be really interesting. Because it's like a behind the scenes of a behind the scenes where it's the first time where we're actually playing ourselves. Can you imagine what that's going to be about? Coming soon. Would you like to visit India? I'm from India. Love your acting. Hi, Naveed. Would I like to? I'm not much of a traveler, but I maybe. If I had friends who befriended me, a mean person, sorry, it went away too quick. I will give you a free emoji. Okay, thumbs up. Thank you. India. Would I like to go to India? Maybe. Oh, my girlfriend used to go there all the time. My girlfriend Sheila. She always had great things to say about it. Why can't some people separate the actor or the actors from the characters they play on TV or in the movies? I know. Oh, did I see the one with Down syndrome? I did. You know, VS, I was supposed to be in that one. I was supposed to be the mom, but I was sick that day. It was good though. Yeah, I know. When they had that show, like some of the hospital shows, like General Hospital, some people were so obsessed with those people that played the doctors on those shows. There was like emergencies and something out in public, and those actors were there, and they're like, "Come help!" And the actor was like, "I'm not a doctor," and they were really convinced that they were a doctor. Somebody said, "When do you think the pandemic will end?" I do not have a crystal ball. I do not have that information. So I could not tell you when it's going to end. So I suppose when it's no longer profitable for them to keep it going. I don't know. I don't know how this whole thing works. What are your thoughts? I just told you what my thoughts are on Julius. He's a cool kid who's really smart. He's taking advanced classes. Yes, I didn't get a chance to spend a lot of time with him because we weren't in a scene like together where we had conversation. So he was sitting with Dad in the restaurant scene, and then when I was on he was on the soccer field, and then the scene where he was in the where their tables are, like the cafeteria, I was with Ricky. So we didn't really have a lot of time to chat, but from what I got from him, he's got a really good head on his shoulders. So missed a bunch of comments. What were they? And I will have to end right at an hour today. I know I went like an hour and a half yesterday, but I'm teaching Sunday school today. So I have to be on time. I have to be a little early. And I'll give you guys a top secret. I'll tell you something top secret. Nobody knows yet. I may or may not be having a water balloon fight today with Ayden Meekus. What does that even mean? Well, for those of you in the Dhar Mann fam. Okay, Michaela, what is your advice on body dysmorphia? I bet there's at least half of you girls that want to know that. So, that is when you perceive your body to be worse than it really is. So, it's a mental thing. It's something that you have to change in your perception of who you are, because when you have body dysmorphia, it's like when you look in the mirror, for some reason there's this mental thing where okay, congratulations. You don't really see what's there. You see something worse. You see something worse than what's there. So it's like when you would go to a circus and you would go see a funhouse mirror, and it shows you distorted and big, or shows your face all weird. So you have to know, I have a whole course on this. I think the first 5 or 6 lessons are related to, so my course, You Are Worthy, hopefully coming out in August. I teach on body dysmorphia, and first of all, you have to know that what you think is there is not what's really there. And most importantly, even let's just say you're right. Okay, so when I had body dysmorphia and I thought I was fat and ugly and disgusting and no one would ever want to be my friend and blah, 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 you have to know that even if that's true, which it's not, whatever you're thinking, most likely it's not true, because you know yourself that you have dysmorphia, that you're not liking what's there and you think it's worse than it is. But even if that's true, you have to realize that no matter what you look like, it cannot stop the plans that God has for your life. It cannot stop your calling. It cannot stop your purpose. And I know this firsthand because being an actress in Hollywood, a lot of times, not in the Dhar Mann universe, but in Hollywood, you go to auditions and you're with all these girls that look perfect. Like they just stepped off a runway and they happen to be sitting next to you in the room. You guys may have read about one of these incidents I had at an audition in my book, Poetic Prescriptions for Eternal Youth. If you do not have that book yet, you can download a free copy at poeticprescriptions.com/free book. Somebody put that in the comments, poeticprescriptions.com/free book. So doesn't matter what you look like, even if you think you look the most terrible you ever have looked in your life. That can't stop the purpose God has for your life. So when I used to hate myself, when I used to hate what I saw in the mirror, even though I was like 15 years younger, 20 pounds lighter, whatever, than I am now, it stopped me, it blocked me from the opportunities. It made me not live out my full calling and my purpose. It made me not reach out to people. It made me not do a good job at work. It made me second guess myself. It made me worried about what people thought of me. It was like all this drama going on in my head over something that's not really even there or perceived it was there. So then when I fully got the revelation that it doesn't matter what this vessel looks like that we live in. Hey, Princess Gamer, it doesn't matter what our earth suit looks like because nothing can stop us from the purpose God has for our life. Even when I gained 20 pounds and was 15 years older, when I started loving myself, I started getting more opportunities, more friends, more auditions, booking more roles. I was acting more than when I was younger and thinner and cuter, because I started to love myself. And you will notice a big difference when you start to love yourself. Even if you're 20 pounds heavier, even if your teeth are crooked, even if your nose is bigger than you want it to be, even if your eyes don't match, you're going to start getting opportunities. It's all about loving yourself. So love yourself where you're at and accept yourself for what is there, but also know what you see is probably not true. And you have to start reading the scriptures and finding out what God has to say about you, because his word is the truth. He says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. He says he knew you before you were in your mother's womb. So you guys go way back. You go way back to when you were a spirit, before God even put you in your mother's womb. He said he knew the plans he had for you, and they were for good and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. So everything is going to turn out for you. You just have to start loving and accepting yourself where you're at, and being kind to yourself and saying nice things to yourself. And you know what? I want to give you an assignment. I want you to look in the mirror every single day and say, I love you. You are beautiful. I love you. You are beautiful. And to stop being at war with yourself. Okay? And I want you to not just say it once. I want you to stand there in the mirror and say it until you believe it. Why are you fighting against yourself? You're the only person you have. You can't, you know what? People are going to come against you. Friends are going to turn on you. Bullies are going to come. The devil's against you. All these people against you. You have to be for you. You have to be your greatest ally. You have to be on your own team. If you're fighting against yourself, that's right, Angela, you are worthy. If you're fighting against yourself and everyone else is fighting against you, how are you ever going to win in life? You have to be your biggest cheerleader. You know, in the scriptures, when everybody turned against David, he said, I will encourage myself. So you have to encourage yourself and stop discouraging yourself. Okay, so thank you, Katherine. You have just changed my life into God's hands. Verity, love yourself. Look in the mirror and love yourself. It doesn't matter what other people think of you. It doesn't matter what you've been diagnosed as. It doesn't matter what the mirror shows. Nothing can stop you for the big, bold, beautiful, powerful purpose that God has you for. But you're stopping yourself every time you look in the mirror and say, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm disgusting. No one's ever gonna want me. No one's ever gonna like me. How many of you know, have you ever watched a talk show like Jerry Springer, and you've seen someone that looks like Jabba the Hutt on stage just strutting their stuff thinking, I'm all that, and you did it. They love themselves. They don't care that they are 350 pounds or 400 pounds. They love themselves. So how you look has nothing to do with how you feel about yourself. That's a choice. How you feel about yourself is a choice, and it has nothing to do with the person staring back at you, because I have girlfriends who look like supermodels, who could be on the cover of swimsuit edition of Sports Illustrated, and they hate themselves. They hate how they look. They're always putting themselves down. And it's like the kind of woman you would trade places with in a heartbeat. You're like, I wish I had the boom, chicka, boom, chicka, boom. But they hate themselves. So how you look has absolutely nothing to do with how you see yourself. How you see yourself is a choice. And when you start seeing yourself the way God sees you, that you are worthy, that you are accepted, that you are loved, that you are chosen, that you are capable, then you will become unstoppable in life. You will become victorious at everything you do. But the minute you start comparing yourselves, when we compare, we're not content no matter what we've got. When seeing through an envy lens, it's always what we've not. When you compare yourself, you're always comparing the worst thing about you to the best thing in somebody else. And that's a problem. If you have a great head of hair, you're never comparing yourself, unless you have an ego problem, to somebody who's got thinning hair or whatever hair problems. But if you have a big gut, you're always comparing yourself to people with these tiny little tummies that are so small that look like they would get full off a raisin. You can't do that. You can't compare the worst thing in yourself to the best thing in somebody else. You have positive traits. Why don't you focus on your positive traits? You know what? I'm going to do a course. I'm going to write a course about how to focus on your positive traits, because I think it's needed. It's needed. Okay, sorry. Back to the Q&A. I got off on a rant because that is my topic. That is one of my life's goals, is to teach people how to be worthy, how to love themselves, how to accept themselves. So I get on a rant. Yes, we never see the bad things about people we're comparing ourselves to. I was in your last live stream and I asked your second book. I got it and I read it and I loved it. Oh, I'm so happy. Abrish, was that the one where I'm in the flypaper dress with the bugs and the bug killer can? Is that the one you got? Let me know. Okay, Verity, oh, I'm so happy you were touched. Okay. 7 minutes for final questions. What do you got? Speed round. I'm ready. So do you guys like it when I just give short answers so I can get to everybody? Or do you like when I go full in depth and almost do like a teaching moment on it? And I end up missing some questions, but I kind of feel like in some ways that's more helpful. Because if I just said, just don't see yourself in a bad light, you may not get it. Okay, I'm just going to do what I do. Okay. I like the discussion, Michaela said. Thank you for being the reason why I'm still on Earth. Oh, Jessica. I actually feel more pretty. Okay, sorry, I missed that. You guys may have to copy and paste if I don't get this. Someone placed me in a timeout because I was expressing sad feelings. Okay. Well, sorry about that. All right. Do as you're led by God. Allison says, I feel like I'm far away from God. What do I do to get closer to him? Just ask. Just say, God, man, I just feel like we have this disconnect and I want to be close to you. Please show me how we can be closer. What do you need me to do? What What do you want me to do with my life? I'm open, I'm willing to surrender, and start reading your Bible every day. Okay, Abrish, I want to know what your favorite poem in that book is. There's 33 poems in that book. I want to know which one was your favorite. Angela just got that book yesterday as well. Dawn says, I love hearing your voice. Michaela says, I feel beautiful after listening to this. Well, amen to that. You are beautiful. You are beautiful. You know, scripture says what makes a woman beautiful is a gentle and quiet spirit. Doesn't mean you can't speak up. Doesn't mean you can't talk. But you guys should do a study on that. It's really good. Anyway, are you drinking black tea with chocolate? I did yesterday. But this is a disgusting green drink with apple cider vinegar and black walnut and wormwood. I don't think it's called wormwood. I may be totally making that up, but it has the word worm in the title. It also has myrrh in it, as in gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Myrrh is supposed to build up your immune system. I think it's got some kind of, you see I'm squinting every time I drink it, probiotic in it. I'm not going to drink that combination again. Were there any actors or actresses you didn't get along with in your career? Yes. Why, yes, there were. On this one film shoot, there was 2. Now, I write about one of them. Okay, so maybe I'll put out the Hollywood book next year. So I'm doing a book about Hollywood and all the people I've run into and the types of characters I've run into in Hollywood. And I wrote a poem about one of them called Gold Ringed Rat. So I did this poem called Gold Ringed Rat about this guy who kept hitting on me on set and just making lewd comments and saying the most disgusting things to me. And get this, he was a newlywed. He was just married, and he married a model, and he's trying to get me to go to bed with him. There's disgusting people like that all over in life. And guess what? It's years since we've shot that, and I'm just so shocking that he's divorced now. Just so surprised. His wife must have found out. He must have been doing that on a lot of sets. I don't know. Have you ever been bullied by your friends before? Why, yes, I have. I've got some stories. I remember they would write me, we'd get in fights about, I don't even know what. They'd put hate notes in my locker. Michaela, you are not fat. First of all, I think I weigh more than you. No, I do. I weigh more than you, and I'm 4 inches shorter. So if you're fat, I'm fat. I'm just saying, it's all perspective. It's all perspective. So we got, if you're fat, Michaela, then I'm your best fat friend right here. You can see how fat I am. It's not the word. Well, you see me in all the videos, so you watch me in all the Dhar Mann videos, and if I'm fat, you're 4 inches taller than me, which means you're allowed to be 3 to 5 pounds per inch. So 3, 6, 9, 12. So for your height, you can be 12 to 20 pounds heavier than me. I'm just saying. It's all perspective. Okay, I'm from Pakistan. Well, welcome, Lonely Dragon. Anum? What's Anum? Is that the part of Pakistan, or is that your name? Lily says, I'm 5'4" in size 2 to 4. Well, good for you. That's wonderful. Keep yourself in shape. Okay, and that's the thing. It's the outer package. If you get stuck caring so much about your outer package, you're never going to live your calling. You're never going to do what you need to in life, because sometimes you don't even have control. You don't have control over your eye color. You don't have control over your skin color. You don't have control over the size of nose, the thickness of your lips. And yes, some people can fix their nose. They can get implants. They can get injections. They can get this. They can get that thing. But mostly you don't have much control over your looks, and you don't have control over aging. So I know some girls in Hollywood who made their living as an actress or a model on their looks. Now they're in their 50s, now they're in their 60s, now they're in their 70s, and they're still trying to be that sex pot. They're still wearing these mini dresses that they wore 35 years ago with their sun-damaged cleavage droopy, flopping up and tight. It's not a good look. It's not appropriate. You make the best of what you've got, and you don't worry about the rest, and you stop comparing yourself. You got it? That's a recorder. It's a recorder. So, have you ever acted in a Dhar Mann story that's actually true? Yeah. Well, they do. You guys know they've been doing a lot of collabs. So the collabs they've been doing are true stories. So, I know, sweetheart. So if you guys see collabs with famous people, famous YouTubers or whatever, those are true stories telling the story of their life. I want to become Hercules in Marvel. All right. Well, I say you just become the best version of yourself. Do you love being an actress? It's a lot of fun. I have to tell you, we were shooting one Friday on using their airplane set, and I was just saying, man, I could be sitting at a desk right now, doing a 9-to-5 job, doing secretary work or answering phones, and that would just be like the worst. I'm just having fun. I get to get paid to be mean and nasty to this person on the airplane because I'm playing a Karen. It's like we get to play dress up and get paid to have fun and make up silly situations, and I don't know. I can't imagine a better job. I'd have to think about that. Okay, guys, it has been an hour. That hour went by. Is there any way I can audition for Dhar Mann? I'd love to be on that set. So I believe they used to put their casting notices up on Backstage. Now I think they put their casting notices up on LA Casting. So if you're not already a member, check out LA Casting. That's where they put them. And now I'm going to go teach the little kids at Sunday school today, and maybe I'll put something in my Instagram or stories later about the water balloon fight with Ayden and Meekus. Well, I'll let you know how that goes. Have a wonderful day, and just remember, you are worthy.